back hear me okay?
Yep.
Excellent. My name is Alex Coldfur. I am running once again my Motorfur meet, a place for auto enthusiasts of all stripes, spots, other pattern things, to meet and commute with each other. First things first, some housekeeping rules. Number one, this is a Motorfur panel. Although this is an all ages panel, I assume everyone here is of the minimum age to operate a motor vehicle in the state of Florida, which is 16, so we don't need to be completely PG with our language here. Second thing is, I know rivalries tend to form in the automotive community, so let's all try to be civil with each other. Let's keep the American car bashing in the middle here. All right? Any questions about how the panel is going to run? No question about how to do things. All right, so we're going to start off today with some introductions. Your names, firm name, whatever information you want to give, and what you drive. So myself, my name is Alex Coldfur. I drive a Hyundai Sonata 2020 and a Kawasaki Vulcan. So I'm on both ends. We will start on my right side, as we drive on the north side of the road in this country, with the big blue thing. Start with left and right. Venus Turbo. It's always good to see Volvo. Say what you want, but those things are indestructible. All right, and you?
So yeah, coincidentally, my brother drives this. I personally drive a 2013 GT 6. That's what the car is me. I'd say they're not going to be on time, but I'd say it's easy to ride. This guy's name is going to be Furry. He drives a C4 Corvette. And her name is Willow. She drives
Was anyone here the one person that showed up with the dune buggy out front? Anyone here in the room show up with that thing?
Is it a beat-up one?
I didn't see the engine, but it was a red tubular chassis dune buggy.
Oh yeah.
No one
Oh, no.
PAMP, I have a 2017 Mazda 3 that's been heavily massaged. Love getting flags, good Mustangs in front of me at track days, and a 2006 SB650.
Down the line.
I'm Toby. I don't really have a vehicle that's for racing at all, but I drive a 2022 Subaru.
Hey, Subaru. Especially in these circles, we'll always get a cheer for Subaru. All right. And passenger side.
I'm Saber. I have a 2017 Focus ST and a 2007 SB650.
I'm Barrow. I drive a 2017 Camaro, and then I also have a 2003 Honda Magna 750.
Nice. Starting off in the back there.
All right, I'm Chris, aka Altus. I drive a 2015 Jeep Renegade 6-speed. It's pretty fun. I'm trying to get rid of it. I also have a 96 Mercedes C-Class in the works. That's going to be a nice little VIP car.
Air class, I have a 2019 Subaru WRX and a custom exhaust on it.
Custom exhaust, you know, can't have us on stock.
I'm Mike. You can also call me Fiasco, and the other woman in my life is a 2020 VW GTI.
Hey, GTI.
I'm Nick. I own a 2017 Subaru WRX, and it has never been painted.
I am so proud. I'm going to guess.
Yeah.
Another Subaru.
I'm Kodiak. I own 6 Subarus. It's not a flex, it's an addiction.
Oh, you came to AA too. Let's expedite the process, okay? If you own a Subaru, raise your hand. Keep the hands up. If you have ever owned a Subaru, previously, hands up.
I accidentally convinced my mother to buy it.
If you want a Subaru, hands up. Keep the hands up before they fall.
It's an addiction.
Subaru, first automobile to advertise in America to gaming audiences specifically. They were a principal sponsor of Logo TV. Not sure if they're still around anymore, but I know Subaru is. Right?
Oh, I'm Chris Diana. I've got 2 C5 Corvettes, a U39 that's manual V8, a 2001 Fox van with a turbo diesel, a 2006 Nissan Titan, a 1974 240Z, and a 93 246. Sorry. Oh, and since we're doing bikes too, I've got a 2008 XR 400R.
Do you look at the fuel tank when you're filling up, or you just wince and hope it soon?
Oh, I ride the bike.
All right.
My name is Star. I used to own a 2004 Ram. It seemed like a heavy until I got T-bone, so I was able to explore.
I feel for you, man. I had a very sweet Lexus IS350C, one of only 11,000 in the world. I get that. What's going on here? Next in line?
Biggie Code. I drive a 2009 Kia Rio with no exhaust.
Are we talking like
Exhaust manifold? Well, technically the part's in the trunk, so the exhaust is with the car.
Hey, we don't test for emissions in Florida. All right, next in line.
You have all your teeth in your mouth after you ride like
Slim Jim, I drive a 2018 Kia Cadenza.
Say again?
Kia Cadenza.
Cadenza. That I'm not familiar with, and I sold Hyundais for a year.
Good night, Sheen. Going on the list, right? Working, not working. I got 2005 Tundra, 05 Accord 5-speed. I have a first generation Miata. I just bought a 03 BMW R1100 RT, and I have a ZZR 600.
1100 RT, I've seen quite a few of those come to my shop lately. I work at the Cycle Gear in Lauder Hill.
Yeah.
Beautifully simple, those dashboards, compared to modern RT.
Alan, Nismo, see where that goes. It's a Furry Skyline. I have a 2013 GMC Sierra 4x4 that's down here. I also have a 1990 Nissan R32 GTR 4-door wide body. These things.
You still have, is that the four-wheel steering level?
I have four-wheel steering.
Yeah,
Everything works on it.
I was saying you should disable it.
No.
Because I know a lot of guys will often disable the
It's
four-wheel
scary,
steering.
but
It's scary, but great.
But it's about I haven't demoed it yet, but it's got to have 450 horsepower because I'm under 4 seconds to 60. So
Dyno receiver didn't happen.
So
That's the rule around here. Dyno receiver didn't happen. I believe you though. I believe you.
I have a onboard.
You have a draggy.
All right.
Alright, my name is Firefox. I have a 2005 Scion TC as a beater car, and then as my baby main car, I have a 2021 Challenger Scat Pack wide body shaker.
Nice.
You can share a seat.
I'm Emmy. I have a 2019 Challenger RT.
You two come together or just coincidental? I was gonna say. All right. We'll get to the wheel that played in just a moment once we go through that everyone else will already set.
I have a 07 Civic SI.
Say again?
I have an 07 Civic SI.
Honda Civic, man. It is the bread and butter car. Good choice. All right, jump into the Ford hat.
Hello. I have a 2018 Ford Focus ST, a 1989 Thunderbird Super Coupe, that's the money sink, and a 2019 Yamaha R3, which is the economy daily rider.
R3, very great bike. You're interested in getting a sports bike as a first bike. Yamaha R3 is a good option if you have the money for it. Yamaha, they forgot that Japanese bikes are supposed to be affordable. They forgot how rare they're supposed to be affordable, so if you got the coin for an R3, I highly recommend picking one up. All right? Well-dressed gentleman in the corner.
All right. I got a Yamaha FZ09 as my main riding joy, and my work I got a 2001 Odyssey for 2000.
I think the gentleman sitting down with the blue orange shirt.
My name is Conrad, and I have a 2001 Honda Prelude, and it needs like $6,000 for repair.
Gentleman, the cooler. I believe we've met before.
I've got a 91 Corvette, 88 Big Turbo 300 ZX, many vehicles. A Hilux. I've got a 93 G Metro, 83 MCI MC9 short bus.
Did you say short bus?
No, it's a short bus. It's a guy who's short this summer, two stroker.
Oh, I was gonna say.
260 AC 10, 620s. Oh, I got a Z900 RS Cafe.
Stand in front of the camera.
Alley man, I like it.
Hey, I'm Keys. My daily is 2018 Tucson, and wig is fine. Anyway, I'm kidding. My project is 89 CRX hatchback with the turbo thrown in. We are a blue one engine, and hopefully I can throw it all in.
You're up next.
Nat, I am my own vehicle because I live close to my job, but I'm a child of mechanics. My uncle owned 2 Chevy Novas, and my father owned a, I want to say, a 60s Chevy Camaro. That was his pride and joy, and he also owned a Box Body C28.
Impressive. Now that's one thing worth talking about, is that you don't need to have the vehicle, or a nice vehicle, or anything to begin with, to be a gearhead. You know what to do. You just need the spirit. And I applaud you for coming out here anyway and showing your spirit.
I will first.
Alright, next in the line.
Blossom drives a 2004 Chevy Trailblazer, 4.2 liter.
Chevy Trailblazer. Interesting choice. Interesting choice. A lot of people tend to go for the bigger Suburban. And it's been a while, actually. Good car. It went through walls. And then I grew in the back of a first generation base model Navigator. This was the original one. There was no electronics in it at all. Just badges on Ford Explorer. And I think Ford thought that big luxury SUVs wouldn't sell. Alright, gentlemen on the floor.
My name is Luna. I drive a 2016 Chrysler 200 Limited. I call it Star Chaser, and I actually take the car shows around here. It's not fast. It's only got a 2.4 multi-air 4-cylinder in it, but I make it look good. That's all I am for it.
Nice.
Bro Wolfie, I got a 6.0 Chevy V8 Volvo 240 with the turbo.
You engine swap with a Volvo 240.
I like my car.
Is that an LS or just
It's LS family. LQ4.
How much trash can? How much you hate your life?
I like it when it gets traction.
You gonna let me blow your two-step later?
Huh?
You gonna let me blow your two-step up?
No, not yet. I just got it on the road. I don't need a bulb yet.
You better.
The individual brave enough to show full panel in full suit.
My name is Floyd. I drive a 2015 Ford Escape.
Ford Escape.
It holds 2 toes.
That's what matters. Good job.
My name's Proto Mugen. I own a 2017 Honda Civic Si Coupe and a 1996 Honda Active van.
Nice.
E-van. Oh, those are fun. Nice. Have you seen the regular car reviews episode?
Huh?
Have you seen the RCR regular car reviews? Have you
Yeah,
seen
I have.
it? Second informal survey. Hands up if you've seen regular car reviews.
Hell yeah.
Who's that guy?
Mr. Regular wouldn't pen me. He slid in my deal.
What's a that don't know, regular car reviews is a enthusiast car review channel where he reviews other people's cars. He's a former furry and he still make nods to it from.
And he hangs out with that movie.
Why doesn't the guy find RCR hot?
It's okay, you're stoned, okay?
And all right, I know we had a lot of people come in late. Is there anyone who did not brag about their cars?
This trash.
No.
And that trash.
All right, keep your hands up as long as you can. I think Dragon Pad? That. Sorry, the laying posture threw me off.
Jesse the Vampire Bat. I have a 2003 Chevy Corvette Z06 and 2008 Jimmy Cooper JCW.
Cooper. British fashion, German design. All right, anyone else want to present? You, blue mask, Kigu.
Okay. Former auto mechanic for 10 years. I now teach automotive technology at high schools and college. I have students that during COVID, they didn't get to come into class. I was really teaching auto mechanics how to like garage and camera. So when we got to return, I only had about a dozen students. So I bought a Subaru, a blown-up motor. I cheated the system. I had mine already blown up. Had them put a motor in. Yeah, that's how you do it. Don't buy it. Wait before it blows up, then buy it. I had them put the motor in. It's a 400 horsepower WRX now. It's a lot of fun. We're also working on a 37 Chevy pickup that we're turning into a Royale and base vehicle. It will be going to SEMA in a couple of years. And I currently drive a 2001 school bus that I turned into an RV. 73 Buick Grand that I put an LT1 in. And a 76 Jeep CJ5 with 350.
Have you brought that thing to the convention before? Because I've seen it at school.
Towing conventions,
but not
conventions only in the Furcon. Most Furcons, there's no room to park the school bus. It's a 7.3 turbo diesel.
One educator to another, you have my deepest respects for trying to keep things going in spite of the
last couple of years we're blue.
Next in line, I'm going sweeping. Wicked Hawaiian shirts.
Thank you. 2016 ND Miata. Hey, hello. I scrape everything. I try not to.
The Miata, the street legal go-kart.
You're driving and you buy it, stop, and your ass is just like this tall off the ground. And I did that so for like 100 miles. So that's not as in the back.
Google tall person mods Mazda Miata, and you will find the biggest like number. Black mask in the back behind him.
Samantha, I drove a 96 Chevrolet C5000 with a Sawzall exhaust.
With the nice hair.
Hi. I'm Cobalt, and I'm sure some of y'all know I got the 1994 GMC Safari background tank, and I also drive a 2021 Jeep Gladiator that's on it with full capability.
Is that the one with the ducks on the dashboard?
What's that?
Is that the blue one with the ducks on the dashboard?
Oh. No, it's not here.
Right, down the line. All right, my bottom. Yeah, you came in late, right? Yeah, I came in late.
I'm Bird. I'm a C mechanic at my shop, and I drive the white 85 Corvette that you see by Tower 2. And my daily / parts getter is a 08 Ridgeline. And that's also
Alright. This side of the room, good. Aeropostale, New York.
I'm Noah. I drive a 2011 Mustang GT stick. I did a lot of
Nice. A lot of American cars here.
Me?
Yes.
Well, I used to drive a 2016 Camaro SS. Unfortunately, earlier this year, had mechanical issues, and I decided because of economic reasons to get a hybrid. Quite the difference. Like, I went from having all the power to like a golf cart. But it's actually pretty nice. I've got a
You know, there's a big subculture of people that tune their cars for fuel efficiency.
I'm going to go to 63.7 per gallon.
Hey, John, what was the car that was the prelude to the Honda, that one Honda, the Insight? The Honda Insight, the one with the covered rear wheel. I have a friend of mine who is tuning that to see how much fuel economy you can get while still being highway legal. He has swapped out the gearing, he's upgraded the motor, he's swapped out batteries for lighter ones. He is tuning that car to see if he can break 230 miles per gallon.
And I've heard of people doing that. They'll take the mirrors off, they'll block the air conditioner, like intake on the front of the car, and they'll get like 100 miles to the gallon.
Not to mention, so you can 3D print carbon fiber parts now. You can just simply swap the whole dash with
Yeah.
But you're saving so much money in the end. If you tune for performance, you spend money and then pay more at the pump. But then you spend more and pay less. Right now.
My name's Saturn. I drive a 2013 Kia Optima EX GDI. Just paid it off. Started to mess with it. Yeah. First thing, and I have like no car experience, sorry. So I learned how to take off the mirror. I'm pretty freaking happy right now, and I have the new ones coming in. Thank you.
We all applaud you for taking it, and we wish you luck in progress. Fox Mask.
Yeah. I do have a 2003 Volkswagen Passat with 1.8 turbo.
Say again?
2003 Volkswagen Passat with a full exhaust. Forget it. So 1.8 turbo V5.5 from 2003, and it has no full exhaust after it. Let's put it that way, straight pipe with a cut. And a 2010 Honda Civic, which that thing was kind of race car. I put it back to original specs just because we don't like how it looked.
Interesting. Gentleman in purple or?
Me?
Yes.
Sorry, I didn't speak very well. I'm not, I live in Jamaica and this is my first con and stuff. So sorry if I'm nervous. Welcome!
Woo!
So I used to own a Nissan Silvia S15 Spec S manual swapped year 2000, and I recently had to sell it. Pardon?
This one won't shut up. I love your car, by the way.
Oh, thank you. And I recently had to sell it too because I'm thinking of moving to America soon because I graduated not too long ago and thinking of moving on to college. So I kind of really regret it. I really miss it a lot. But I'm thinking like when I get to America, I might take a car from Jamaica. We have a lot of, see this person's shirt has a JZX100. We have a lot of JZX90s Mark II, so I was thinking maybe buying that for super cheap and bringing it to the US.
Is there an import tax on cars purchased in Jamaica?
Oh my goodness, you would not believe the headache. We already have a lot of S15s in Jamaica, so when I bought mine, it was only $9,000. But if you wanted to import one, it would cost double that because we have a duty fee on cars in Jamaica. So depending on, what size of the engine, so it's like 2000 cc, 2500 cc, depending on like how many doors it has, the year, everything like that matters a lot. But if I wanted to take a S15 from Japan and ship it to Jamaica, they would charge me 65% on top of the price of the car. Wow. Extra.
I know there are a lot of countries that will charge the import tax on purchase. You buy a new car, will charge you an import tax.
In Jamaica, if the newer the car is, the actually less you have to pay for duty, and shipping usually only costs $1,000 to $2,000 depending on the car, and insurance and everything like that, and inspection is usually not that much. It's always just the duty that makes it so expensive.
Fascinating. Thank you.
Anyone else? Quick fun fact, India has a 1-to-1 tax import ratio. A gentleman paid a company in Illinois called Schwartz Performance built a $250,000 $69 Charger, paid $250,000 in taxes to have it imported.
Right.
If you can buy an S15 in Jamaica for $9,000 and ship it here for $1,000,
yes,
I'll pay you tomorrow.
You can't anymore. I sold mine for $13K.
I'll pay you tomorrow.
Dude, I'm funding everything else.
My first break in the I for a while, but I'm still learning. I just got my first one yesterday, actually. It's Ninja 400
Did you say Ninja 400? Good choice. Very sturdy choice. I bought some Kawasaki man myself, but Ninja 400, everyone started with displacement Ninja. It's a really great bike to learn on, and a great bike to learn how to fix it yourself. So it's a really good place to start. Anyone here on this?
I guess basically.
All right.
This idiot is gonna stop.
How much time do you guys have?
Here, I believe I have the room until 2:30. I believe the room until 2:30.
Okay, there might be enough time. I got like 10 cars, I think, and like a dirt bike and an ATV. I think whatever I drive is whatever's running at the end of the day with AC. That's usually, I have like an 08 BMW 528i, which is my daily driver until the AC went out. And then drove my BMW 525i, and I guess the AC went out with that. I drove my truck, but I broke the frame on it, but I kept driving.
You bought it broken.
I bought it broken because I'm an idiot. And then like, I fixed like 3 cars like 3 days before the con for the show. And I hate my life right now.
You hate your life?
Yeah.
I suffered from owning your shitty sauce.
Oh, come on. I drove that car here, and it vibrated so crazy, like, going down the road. I was thinking we were going to fall apart. Yeah.
Okay.
I had an associate of mine. His bike shook out its own O2 sensor. Anyone want to guess what bike he had? Yes, it was a Harley. It was a brand new, still under warranty, 883.
But what I drove here was an 89 Volvo 240 with the turbo that I put in with all of this custom shit. And I somehow made it here. I don't know how. Oh, it runs great, but it like vibrates like so much. I can watch my Coke can and like rotating.
Gentlemen in the way, you had your hand up.
Yeah, so I'm Kami or Kamikaze, I'm a hyena, and I got a Datsun 240Z, a Nissan 300ZX C32 twin turbo, a 2003 Suburban Duramax, I'm sorry, not Suburban, Silverado Duramax dually crew cab, and a 90 Nissan Pathfinder WD21.
What year's the Datsun?
73.
I got a 71.
Nice.
My father has a 71 Datsun 300, and the story he tells about how he got it was he got a call at 4 in the morning from his brother saying, my girlfriend's getting behind her car payments, going to repo her car, is going to wreck her credit, can you bail us out? And he said, yeah, I'll buy the car, whatever's left on the note. Had $2,000 left on the note. Oh my God. He got that car, bear in mind, one previous owner got that car, and he was some punk kid fresh out of college, and suddenly he got his hand on for $2,000 in 1978, which translation of that is still not that much money, still quite a bit of money, not that much money. Paid off the note as a favor, took it for himself, and rode the crap out of it. He still to this day does not shut up about that car, regrets selling it. I didn't see that.
Yes, I'm hiding in the corner. I'm Connor. I have a 99 Corvette C5, the manual that I do autocross stuff in that I paid for by delivering pizza. In the Corvette that I was financing. Strong. And I also have an A86 that was parked out in front of car too. That I've had since like 2005.
Were you at the RFF?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, I love that.
Yeah. Corvette at the RFF. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, we
I remember that.
I never believe when I say I need a bigger room. This panel always is very popular, and they never give me enough space. I feel like next year I should just rip the band off and straight up request the main event hall, because that's the only way we can fit everyone in here, because this is the...
We did kind of get jealous.
Actually, I think I might have underestimated my numbers. Anyway. Other way, you have something, or?
Yeah, I can share.
What?
Should we share? Hi, I'm Hazel. I drive a 2015 Toyota Prius C, which thank you Grand Trees with 7 for the wonderful spotlight. Yeah, I literally, at the beginning, Ronan was, needing a new car. I went to the lot, I was like, you and me are going to see some tough shit together. And proceeded to put $50,000 on it in a year, doing delivery through rural parts of town and all sorts of shit. It sees regularly over 100 miles an hour, and have autocrossed it and stuff. It's a lot of fun. It's surprisingly a lot of fun despite being the slowest thing I've ever driven. Besides that, I have an 92 Corolla, 89 GTS. Super cool, wanting to bring it out, but it wasn't running. And then I have a 1976 Honda CB175, which runs occasionally.
Very cool.
CB175.
It's a small little twin still. It's an inline.
I know, it's
so cool.
generational bike. Old Hondas, they look beautiful, sound wonderful, and you can just straight up empty your mag into the engine block and it'll still turn over. The carbureted or direct injector?
This one is carbureted.
You know,
14 horsepower.
Alright, so that handles introduction unless there's anyone else who wants to say more. Alright.
I brought with me my white Volvo 740 from '91. You'll notice it has the, what I like to call the Megaplex is tomorrow special wing on the trunk.
It's called the white wing, that's what it looks like.
I painted it using a brush.
And it looks like a
An individual that desperately wants not to speak. What do you have?
Woodbury C320 Mercedes Benz Lightning. Got a little bit of this and a little bit of that. More music than anything.
Oh wow.
This is
Alright. Subaru, another Subaru. Do you want to say something? Alright.
I've got, I daily drive a Jeep Cherokee. I've got another X-Ray Jeep Cherokee that I use for off-roading, and an 88 Scrambler that's been swapped for a 350 Chevy engine.
You want to say something about that?
My name's Icona. I don't own a car, unfortunately, because I'm not old enough to drive. But I do sim racing, and I do go-karting for a hobby.
A lot of people get into go-karts nowadays, I find that. I don't know. Any idea why you're into go-kart nowadays? Because it just has a lot of people getting involved.
Yeah, there must be lots of tracks around. It's like the smartest
Alright, now that introductions are finally done, we can begin the panel in earnest. I'd like to begin the panel with a story. Now, as I mentioned a few minutes ago, the first car in America to advertise to a gay audience is Subaru. Original sponsor of the Logo channel, which is the gay lesbian channel. I have no idea if it's still broadcasting, but believe it or not, they were not the first company ever to do something like that. First car company ever to manufacture an LGBT+ audience is actually Volvo, who from the very, very early stage were printing ads in, further dating the story, the Gay Men's Newspaper of Sweden, which, like I said, that is just how far back it's going. Why did I tell this story? I'm not sure either. I don't remember why. I was going to lead into my next point. My next point is that the car culture is a lot more diverse than people realize. As we see here, everyone comes around from different backgrounds, different sleds, different stories. And it's through this common interest that we do tend to find familiarity. And when we find the familiarity, we then proceed to kick each other under the table, undercut each other by bragging about horsepower figures, exaggerating horsepower figures, and then making fun of these big stank Subaru drivers. And then we move, of course, moving that portion. Does anyone have any stories they want to share? Anything crazy that's happened to them?
Well, I guess how I first got into auto general, mechanics in general. When I was 13 years old, I originally told my parents, "Hey, I want to work on cars." Right? Because I always tinker things, working with things with my hands. And so I had, they said, "All right, we'll go talk to our local mechanic and see if we can get you work on cars." So I went up to him at the age of 13 and was like, "I would like to work on cars with you." He said, "Come back in a day, I'll think about it." And so I came back and said, "Okay, you'll start this weekend." And from that point, for the next 3 years, I worked with him during the summer to learn how to fix autos, fix cars. At first, it was definitely challenging. I know I remember my first experience trying to actually, learn some of the tools. He said, "Here's some tool magazines, learn the names of the tools. I'll show you how to change out the oil of the car." And we always do independent oil changes and stuff within the first few months, working my way up, working on brakes and discs and cylinders, and then eventually.
How many oil pans did you strip?
Huh?
How many oil pans did you strip?
You don't want to know. The Kia out there right now, that one definitely absolutely stripped out. No, it was sad. It was the long hours working on cars. It was definitely a fun experience. I ended up starting an auto club at my middle school because of it. And ever since then, I've just been hooked on fixing cars. That key out there, the only reason that exhaust pipe is off right now is because I had to replace the oil drip pan, which in order to replace that, I had to remove the rusted on exhaust, which completely snapped, and there was no way to weld it back together, so.
I get you. On my bike, for reasons unknown to me, they decided to make sure the only way to put the bike's frame onto a stand is to remove the exhaust system. All of it, including the headers. You need to drop the full system off the bike in order to put it on, in order to bolt it to a stand.
What's the feature?
Kawasaki Vulcan, 2015. Vulcan S, the long ninja. But yeah, and for those of you that are looking to get into mechanics, one of the most easy mistakes you can make is stripping your drain plug. And drain plugs are made of steel, and you're just made of aluminum, over torque it, and you strip the whole thing off. And you're just leaking oil until usually either a messy driveway or catastrophic engine failure.
Or you get the new guy who changes out the drain plug on Volkswagen with a plastic drain pan. Like,
Have you ever seen a guy drop 15 quarts in the ground?
That, speaking on that, I had just finished the 07 TL. I had to do a transmission on it, and then a bunch of other things came after. One of the things we wanted to look at was the oil pan because it was leaking. So I was like, okay, I'll put another drain plug in and maybe it'll stop the leak. I was doing struts one day, I had it on the lift, I pulled the drain plug out, it was the wrong size, or I got a new one, it was the wrong size. Put it back in, it was leaking so much worse. I didn't want to do the oil pan on it, but I had to. I had to take it off the second time because I thought it was initially leaking from that same drain plug and redo it the second time. And it ended up leaking somewhere else. It was so crazy.
we had a new guy drain the transmission and then double fill the engine.
I was in this. Yeah, that happened to me at my first job at headquarters Toyota. One of my work buddies, I was doing tire rotations on a Toyota Tundra, and he was doing the oil change. And on my Tundra, he took out the drain plug to the transmission, and then filled 8 quarts on top of 8 quarts into the engine. No, it didn't get out of the shop. He realized the mistake before we even brought it down. But man, was he beating himself up about that. But thankfully we corrected it.
He acknowledged his mistake.
That's why he's still there.
I said he acknowledged his mistake, he worked to fix it, he did not try to pin on anyone else. That is a sign of someone who actually, A, has reputation, and B, actually wants to keep their job.
I miss that guy. He was fun.
That one moment when you're doing a debt service on, again, a Tundra, and you find out the bottom drain plug is steel and then the fill plug is aluminum.
On the, for anybody who wants JDM cars, this one was my first one. I picked it up in Houston. It was, a friend was bugging me about it. It was up on eBay twice. Nobody would bid on it because I guess they didn't know what it was. He wanted 25 for it. The last bid was 12. I threw him a Hail Mary at 14. He came back down to 20 and we settled on 18.8. The car has, I'm the third owner, 2 in Japan here. Like I said, the car ran, checked it all out, no rust or anything else. Drove it back from Houston to Charlotte, North Carolina overnight. Ran fine, air conditioning worked, all that. No records with it. So I'm not a mechanic, and so I decided, okay, one thing started, I wanted to paint something in the engine compartment, take it off, led to another, do timing belt, took the turbos off, one of the wheels was, turbines was chipped, took the turbos off, engine came out, then the transmission came out, ordered the titanium exhaust, ordered the titanium downpipes, all the exterior parts, and I'm doing it all myself. So I've printed out 804 pages of the R32 PDF manual from Australia. And so that's all I can go by. And I got a Wiring Specialties new harness, and I am stuck right now because the car originally started life as a GTS4 with a 2-liter. With that original harness, they put an R33 GTR motor in from the V-Spec car and modified the harness. So now my new harness is for the R32 GTR, which plug and play everything. But now mating to the, it cranks but it doesn't fire. I don't have a spark right now.
Gentlemen, why don't you hand it up?
So here's a quick question before I start the story. Who's worked in the dealership as a tech? Okay, so here's how the story goes. Yep. So yeah, I made you automatically. So long story short, this is how it goes. Customer comes into the drive, 2020 BMW X5M, $135,000 vehicle, right? Customer comes up to me, the usual crankiness, hey, my AC is not working. No problem, sir, we're going to fix it, make you feel all special and good, and good to go. Okay. Get the loaner car, he goes away, goes to my AC tech. A couple hours later, I haven't heard anything, so I go into the shop. I see not one, I see not two, I see 4 technicians all doing this number, and one's got their phone out like this, videotaping the car. So automatically, I'm just like, oh hell, what's going on here? So, now keep in mind, this vehicle's still under warranty. Turns out that the doctor who had that vehicle, once again, for $135,000, had a very nice prize dog. And the dog, I guess, had to go. So the dog decided to put its hind legs on the back seat, put its front paws on where you put your arm, the armrest, and proceeded to urinate into the rear AC. It gets better. So while the AC was cycling, it went into the main AC controller, which is in the armrest in those vehicles, destroyed the blower motor, went, and he had the AC seats on at the time, went inside the seats, went up through the what do you call it, the piping for the AC work that goes to the top, $132,000 worth of damage, because for some reason that's how much it costs to get those components, because as we remember during the pandemic, if you wanted anything German, you could go screw yourself. So I had to politely explain to the customer that not only would his warranty not cover this because your dog did it, this is what the bill looks like. I don't think I've ever, and I was in the military for a number of years, I don't think I've ever had it chewing out that good to where I had to just leave work and go directly to the bar afterwards. But it's provided you with a great story since.
Amazing.
Oh, okay. I commit a lot of automotive sins. A lot. A particular one that I tell everybody is, well, it's personally embarrassing, but I think it's hilarious now. And I used to have a convertible 240 with a RB20, and I drove around a lot. It had a bucket seat, I had a lot of drifting, and it didn't have air conditioning. So I went to a club in Daytona, and I gambled on a parking lot. And as I was walking to my car, after, I gambled again, and lost. I didn't learn the lesson. So I had to sit in my bucket seat for everyone's home. And then some kid bought the seat for $300. You gotta be desperate for a car,
I have a similar story with a much more tragic ending than that. Okay. Who here has serviced a school bus? Okay. So what we had was I think a Bluebird with a carrier air conditioning. No, it wasn't a carrier, it was some kind of proprietary edition. We couldn't afford the carrier. It was a bus with a standard air conditioning. There had been some study flu going around. I gave them lost before I stepped into my car, and I was still in my driveway, so I very quickly swapped outfits and head there. I had a student, while we were driving to a field trip, having also gamble and lose, as they say, on the rearmost seat of the bus. Culminating with the fact that his son stopped short because of some asshole in a blue Volvo. The pool of human weight that had been pooling by the back of the bus was suddenly launched forward. So, like no one is saying anything, no one noticed anything. until we see this line running. I hear screaming from the back of the bus. Now, I was not a tech. I am a tech priest. I run engines here. I was an educator. He gets it. Anyway, so I hear screaming. I go up and goes, what the hell's going on? And like no one else had noticed the smell. Or the fact that it was now going into the AC unit because this one fed partially from the floor. So the smell was now starting with the whole bus, and then the vomiting started. And I immediately gave the order to the driver, pull over immediately. We were on the turnpike, mind you. So I ordered him to pull over, and I begin, and I get all the students off the bus, standard protocol. So I got 30 special needs kids sitting on the side of the road. I am investigating. It's a school for kids with autism. They were not completely like short with special needs. They were round, to say the least. One of them completely covered in waste. Some of them had vomiting in them. And I am sitting in the back of the bus thinking, what the hell is this? And at some point, because it was my job to do today, I gave a call saying, bring the spare bus. So, the school sends around 2 short buses that we use for transporting small groups. Load them onto those and send them on the way. And I had to drive all the way back to the school with the shit bus. And now we were right by the shit bus because it had actual cloth seats in it this time, as opposed to the leather bench seats. It had cloth. So I bring the bus back to the workshop, back to the school. It was a private school, so we had kind of our own workshop where we basically bring it back to the school, and I look at the school director and I say, this is what happened. Here's the incident report. And like, he says there, he immediately steps out and says, just get me an estimate to replace whatever you need to replace. Don't bother trying to clean it. So I just hose it down just to make it sanitary enough to work on. And ultimately that cost us 8 seats. 8 full back cloth seats. Ruined because of either smell or staining. And guess who had to do the replacement of those seats? No, fortunately, we had an outside guy who come with stuff like that. Our workshop, they use basically just very basic stuff, being able to service the oil and all that. The full stuff that needs replacement parts, we go to the dealership for. And school bus dealerships, not a fun place. All right.
So actually, I have 2 little stories. One of them.
Do they involve human excrement?
No.
No more shit theme? Oh, come on.
But it's only.
I tried.
But it is lightly related, the first one. So, in the Army, a lot of times you have to go out to trainings in large convoys of vehicles. And like, if you're one of the lower enlisted guys, you're just in the back of these like rough riding, like all metal bench seats in the back of the transport trucks. And so it was like in the middle of the winter in Texas, so it was pretty cold out, and all you have is a tarp over you. So you're on the hard metal the whole time. It's cold and the air is just yeah, it's like the canvas covered truck
right
in the back. So it's cold. The cold air is blowing in. It's miserable. And so we were on our way to a training event, and what happened was we had these big trailers that are just water tanks that some of the vehicles have, because everyone has water. And someone had forgot to release the brakes on one of those when we started driving. I guess no one noticed. So we're about like 4 hours into our like 6-hour drive to the training area, and all the vehicles just stop and pull over the side of the road. Everyone's like confused what's going on, and they eventually let us all out to use the bathroom. And this is a battalion, so battalion's like 100 or 1,500 people. So I just want you to imagine in your head this long line of military vehicles just pulling over the side of the road, and 1,000 soldiers just coming out of the back of these trucks and all just going into the wood line to release themselves at the same time. While our truck in the front with the water tank has its tires on fire because someone got the
All right, speak.
And the other little story I had was
Be honest. When y'all were lining up the piss line, did anyone shout "present arms"?
No. That didn't happen. But my other little story was before I had my white 740, I had a red 940 wagon, and ever since I got it, there's something wrong with the turbo. It didn't quite work right. Like it spit a lot of oil out of it, and it had some pretty smoky get up and goes. Like, in fact, the last time I was in it for it to actually accelerate quickly, when I was letting the guy test drive it, it let out an almost cartoonish smoke cloud. Lo and behold, about a week after I sell it to this guy, he sends me a message like, I found out why your turbo is leaking oil. I was like, oh yeah, what was that? He's like, oh, it's just a massive hole in the exhaust side. I'm like, oh!
Who would have guessed? Yeah.
I was going to say, in regards to your bus story, I have a blue Volvo, and I'm sorry.
Although to be fair, I wanted that match between a full-size B-class bus and a Volvo. I want to see what that Volvo will look like after it. Because
Probably the same.
Built a 200 horsepower red car, and we're on the list in Atlanta, and it's got a flex bike, and the flex bike comes off the turbo and kind of holds it, but it was propped up by other things. And my friend sent me a photo. It's all painted in black VHD, so it's kind of hard to tell if it's it or not. So he sent me a video, and you can clearly see a fireball coming out the side of the flex joint, big enough to where it blocked out the other guy in like front of his windshield, and it's on his GoPro too. It's pretty fun.
all right,
It's flaming.
we're nearing the end of the time, so quick stories. Quick anecdotes. You haven't heard you say anything.
So this is more of a driving story. I was at the bottom of Tail of the Dragon, going up and down all day in the Mazda 3 hatch, which is substantially quick with the super sticky tires on it and all the mods. But at the bottom, there was a red Miata. Like first gen Miata, license plate was North Carolina Femboi. FEMBOI. The driver had red hair, red dyed hair, red Miata. Faster than sin going up the dragon. Like I'm actually trying to keep up, and just one hand on the wheels, like a leisurely Sunday drive.
Well, I mean, think about it. You go fat boy, you go lightweight, weight reduction. I haven't heard anything from you in the past.
I have a buddy who I drive with all the time on the Tail of the Dragon, who also has an NA Miata, but his license plate says Lake for Anal.
It's a Facebook group. Okay, so who here has heard the Florida ass ordinance story?
What?
This is a tale from Florida. Who here has seen a Florida license plate? Who knows what it looks like off the top of their head?
Yeah.
Yes, it's an orange.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Here's the thing. Someone had a license plate generated by the DMV's computers that said A55 RGY with the singular orange in the middle forming an O. This was completely accident. And this person had to spend a year and a half getting it changed for free at state expense. Because if you want a custom license plate, that is $150 total to the state of Florida for printing the license plate and the processing fees. Randomly generated.
What?
Because there is actually a ban list moderated by a bunch of old women. There is a ban list of license plate names. But they didn't cross-reference that with the auto generator because they figured, how could random carriers
before when we were riding around with Asperger's, you know. And there's another license plate going around that just said L84 space ANL. It's another story on Reddit from a similar case. And the moral of the story is, sometimes, the moral of all of these stories is sometimes if you want something done properly, do it yourself. You're less likely to strip your own drain bolt. You're less likely to double fill your engine with oil. You're less likely to make someone have acid on their car.
I just had to see it myself.
Yeah, that is the place.
Oh my God.
And that is why it is important to learn how to fix it yourself, how to do your own research, and to, most importantly, develop confidence in your skills and craft. Because all the book knowledge is not going to help you, all the experience is not going to help you if you cannot get self-confidence to actually try it yourself. Which is why I say, do try it, do fail. Hope you have someone with some spare parts. 2 quick questions.
Oh, well, I have a story in relation to that, if I could. I don't know if we have time.
I got 5 minutes.
Okay, well,
and someone else wants to speak.
Okay, well, I have a 96 model Miata, and like you were saying, be prepared to fail because it will happen. I think it was my 3rd engine, and I rebuilt it completely before I went on 2 trips to Grid Life in Colorado, then to Michigan. I drove all the way. I get home, and maybe 2 days later, it's gone. Throughout the entire trip, I had it every 500 miles until like a quarter mile. I could not figure out why. So when I got home, it finally let go like 5 miles away from home. I don't know, because this is the freaking driveway that's sitting. I still got to pull it out apart and see what the heck it is.
I have a story related to do it yourself and stuff. So my very first car I ever bought, I paid $300 for. Out of my grandpa's backyard that had been sitting for I don't know how long. I didn't know if it ran. It was my A86 that I bought. So I charged the battery and I drove it back 80 miles in a rainstorm with the windshield wipers, following my dad like 3 feet behind him so I could see his taillights. And then the very first thing I ever had to fix on the car was the alternator, because that was why the battery was dead. And nobody ever told me how to do it. I just had to figure out how to do it. And I still have that car. I put 2 engines in it now, because I had the first one I didn't know enough to keep it from dying, and then now it's good. It only took 15 years.
I still have my first MG. It's really
Is there anybody that hasn't swapped an engine in their car? Is there anybody that has?
Don't jinx me, bro.
Alright, hands in the air if you have never swapped your engine. If the engine in your car is what it left the manufacturer. Tablespoon.
Original 350, baby.
If a significant portion of your engine is OEM.
Well, it's from a Chevy, but it's not.
I don't think that counts.
The block. How about that? The block.
The block. If it's still the same block it left the factory with.
What if I swap Brent's engines but not my own? We can talk about that.
The moment you start asking for technicalities and exceptions, the moment you know you've lost the argument.
Yeah.
Alright. One last thing to leave you off before we dismiss. The word relic. You know what a relic means? Relic. Give me a definition of a relic.
An old piece of history.
A relic is something that has value only to those that perceive its value. That's what it means. Relics of a religion, some dried blood, a fragment of wood, worthless to everyone else. Exactly. Enchanted corpse, Jesus told you to shoot the president. Oh, and like I said, used to everyone else, but to those that worship that religion, those are the most blessed things. Same thing with our various cars. Cars that are valued as less than the scrap value of their metal, but to those that care and see the value, we perceive that value. And what I tell you before we end today is find your relics.
Find something that has value to you, even if it has value to no one else, and cherish it. For the relics we keep are part of what makes us individuals. Thank you all for coming. You have been a wonderful audience. Who has the other seat at 2:30 on the dot?
Who knows the guy with the other